what is it? Is there, I mean, the fact that, maybe we're in a body and this kind of memory and the sensuality of memory and the contingency of history that pulls us back and forth. But I don't think this, I don't think there's an absolute answer. I mean, I think it's a way of probing through ways of seeing. The other thing about what if we create this power of Babel, well, it might turn, I mean, I think the impulse to create it is what Walter Benjamin proposed with his idea of the pure language, in a sense, in that through translation we are seeking it. But I think he was also counting, I mean, he didn't want to be called a metaphysicist, I'm sure, because he was more a humanist, materialist humanist. But I think it's the impulse for the transformation, the transubstantiation that drives us to continually critique and transform and make choices, rather than the actual finality of teleology. And this is why I find the second Odyssey more interesting than the first Odyssey. I mean, someone told me really that we spend too much time on his adventures, because in the epic itself, most of the time is when he gets back in Ithaca. But actually what people want to listen to, and in the oral tradition, is the constant detour rather than the retour, the detour rather than the retour, as Clisson would say. So the detour, and also what was more exciting for Cavafis. So I think it's the detour of translation is probably more important than the retour. But nonetheless, the desire for the retour is still there. It's like the author we read about yesterday, Braga, that was delighted to depart, but she never wanted to quite arrive, it seemed, because that arrival is a finality and is a final closure. So.
Another question from anyone? Anyone want to say anything else? Yes?
On the two clips that you showed us, are there, in those two groups and communities,
Yeah.
Are there elements of enculturation and acculturation into the bigger community where they are in right now? The enculturation that they brought from their original space.
Yeah, constantly. I mean, I think this is why I'm talking about translation, negotiation of meaning. I think it's constantly there. I mean, pardon? Please?
Is there third space? I think you mentioned a little about that. Or when you mention about Creole culture, it's a mixed or a hyphenated culture and identity.
Yeah.
That you see.
Yeah. I mean, because I think there's multiple negotiations going on. I mean, first of all, I mean, it's not only with India they left behind, but there's Chinese coolies and coolies from Madeira and Afro Caribbean descendants of there's negotiations with all those cultures within its Caribbean context, as well as the different Indians of different castes and different religions. In fact, even this particular form was a regional Tamil goddess, Mariamma, that got subsumed into Kali because of the other Indians there. There's the presence of a Muslim deity on the Guyanese plantation. So, I mean, this is why I said it's a constant process of writing and rewriting, and which deity do you put in now and which one do you take out? It's not fixed, it's not a description. And then when it goes to North America, something else happens again. But also these things you also find in each temple they're different. That each temple may negotiate in different ways, and this may vary according to the Pujarian's artistry or to the demography of that particular village or the region. You know, how are they living side to side, say with Afro-Creoles. So I think this is why, you know, when I emphasize ritual as play and negotiation, it's not that it's simply a remnant of memory. Although I think there is that element of, I mean, there this sense of the desire for homecoming. But there is also a negotiation with the here and now. What does it mean for the here and now?
If you compare with the where they're from, with where they originated, that tradition and culture.
I mean, I have been to India, which is also very multiple and diverse. And there are similar rituals that you see. But I mean, it's very unlikely that, that there's probably things that may be identical, but not very well known. And it's highly unlikely that they do it like it is now, at least from the people I've spoken to.
So do you think that there was an evolution in India, the changes there?
Oh, yes, certainly.
And also here,
yes, certainly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that's always caused controversy, and even amongst Indians who have seen the whole film, is when they see the goat sacrifice. You know, some of them are shocked and they say, oh, this is not allowed in India. And then others would come and tell me on their own, well, it is allowed, but we don't like to say so, and you see it all over the place. So they don't even agree amongst themselves, even within India. But, you know, but you also have to see myself as agent in this translation, what people tell me and what they don't tell me. I mean, you know, also a lot of the Brahmins say, why are you dealing with that low caste stuff, and come and do the high literature. Or, you know, I was like an agent of negotiation by my very presence, if you like.
Yeah, I was wondering, I attended a conference 2 years ago of anthropology, and there was this question about cosmopolitanism or cosmopolitanisms, and it emerged these questions: if by using this idea of cosmopolitan in this context of globalization, you yourself mentioned the crisis of the nation state and all that, which is an idea with certain packages, even from ancient times. For example, it emerged through Stoicism when we had the collapse of the nation state and the idea of citizen. Okay, so if we're shifting the discussion from ideas that might be more politically challenged and maybe more in crisis, like the idea of citizen. So we're trying to replace ideas like citizen and the political rights that come with this idea with more flexible and maybe less critical ideas like the cosmopolitan.
So, I mean, if I understand correctly,
if we're shifting the discussion by using the idea of cosmopolitan from more political engaged ideas like the citizen, and what does this involve in a globalized world?
I don't know. I mean, that wasn't my intention, but I realize it's a problematic term because, and probably problematic because it does have elitist dimensions to it, and I think I was trying to wrest it from that, or rescue it from that. I mean, I don't know how successfully, or maybe there is a better term for it, but I don't think, you know, the idea of citizenship is there, and this is why I like the term, because it's there in the term polis. I mean, this is the whole idea of the polis and the polis in the public space. And also the fact that what I found interesting about this is not only the negotiation of medieval deities, but also how the people have negotiated their rights as citizens in the different social and political frameworks that they have found themselves in, whether it was colonialism, in which this stuff was banned, in the post-colonial, I think there was a kind of openness, but there were other restrictions of the nation state and the way they wanted to forge their identity. And then the fact that they have also been sucked up by the global economy because of the failure of the nation state and how they've had to negotiate it there. And I think they're very aware of themselves as citizens, and I think this is what I find exciting about it as well. as well as I find it ritually and aesthetically interesting.